Hello, Madison.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good today. How are you?
Good. Thank you for coming to see me today.
I guess I'm excited about our meeting.
Yes, awesome. So, um, today we're going to be doing cognitive behavior therapy. And first off, I'm going to go over one of the emotive techniques. It's called rational emotive imagery. And then after, we're going to go over stress inoculation training. But first, let's talk about what's been going on in your life recently.
Life is busy. Life is really busy with school, with running a home business, with traveling to see my grandson play. It's in the airport every weekend, and right back home for work and school. And so it can get kind of stressful trying to keep up with everything. And in the middle of all that, I got kind of sick and had a gallbladder surgery. So I get stressed out when I can't, when things don't go as planned. I guess I'm somewhat of a planner. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so when I get knocked out of my path of, I think, that's manageable, then yeah, it's a stressful time. We can say it's a very stressful time in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense, especially when something happens that you're not expecting it to happen. That totally makes sense. And that stress is very valid. And I think this um, rational emotive imagery um, will help a bit. We can see if you like it. So, at first, I'm going to ask you to vividly imagine one of the worst things that might happen to you. Um, so, maybe in your certain situation of the surgery and class and deadlines and work and traveling, putting that all into perspective, like when you speak it out loud and when you imagine it, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen from this situation, this stressful time?
Uh, the worst thing that could happen, the absolute worst right now, uh, would be that I don't continue to heal successfully from my surgery, and that I require more downtime because I have I have a chronic illness. I have lupus, and so whenever you have a surgery or another illness or sickness, it usually brings about a pretty bad lupus flare. So I guess instead of saying I'm a planner, I'm a control freak. So uh, my my illness takes me out of control. So
Mm-hmm.
to not to continue to heal without anything else hindering me, because that's going to affect school. I probably won't take. It's already been a consideration not to take classes next semester, or to properly heal, or to stop going to see my grandson play. So in the scheme of things right now, it would be just to have to slow down and just not do anything and
Mm-hmm.
heal properly, I guess I could say.
Yeah. And that's a scary thought for someone who's so passionate and ambitious. And
It's Yeah.
how describe the most disturbing feelings that come up when you think about having to kind of pause your life and heal. through with what's going on?
I guess a bigger part of me is like, I don't want to let my grandson down because in my mind, he expects me to be there for every game. I'm
Mhm.
quite sure
Mhm.
he would understand, but I have a big thing about not following through on commitment or letting my grandson down or, letting my husband down because we can't go through what we have planned. I guess that's the biggest thing that I interrupt or I'm letting people down who like they have high expectations of me, for me to be there, for me to fix it, for me to buy it, for me to do it. So high expectations, letting people down. I guess that would be it.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very valid feeling. And I think that this sometimes when we're fearful of different situations or not knowing the outcome is very anxiety provoking. And so I'm going to go over now the stress inoculation training. And so I want to expose you to an anxiety provoking situation um, by the means of imagery. So imagine that you're telling your grandson that you can't go to the game because your body needs to rest in order to get better, and just kind of go through that situation. And it's kind of like imagining and role playing, like what would you say, and then like what do you think he would say, how would that situation play out?
I guess pretty much just like you said, but it would be a very stressful phone call for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a crier, but that probably could that probably would bring me to tears to say,
Oh.
hey D, I don't think I'll be able to do it. I can't, I can't travel around. Yeah, and I can hear him saying, hey Nanny, it's okay. You can watch it on ESPN Plus. I can hear him. You can stream it on ESPN Plus.
Oh.
But not being there, I'd be incredibly sad. And maybe that's not that. I don't know if that's a valid feeling because we're talking about a football game, right? But to me, it's not the football game. It's the support that I show for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's the support that I show for him. And I think that teaches him a lesson about showing up and sticking to your word and doing what you'll say you'll do.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So it would be a terribly sad conversation for me. And he would probably say, hey, Nanny, he calls me Nanny. Hey, Nanny, it's okay. Catch it on ESPN Plus. And he would say, hey, I'm going to Starbucks. I'll call you back. He would be perfectly fine. He wouldn't even, he probably, I don't even know if he would get how bad it would stress me out, right? But
Yeah.
I would be stressed out, which that's a great thing, but I would be stressed out on my end. Just,
Of
yeah,
course.
it's him. He's
Yeah.
my first grandson and he's my heart.
Yeah. And it makes sense because, you're human and you have emotions and connections and family. It's such a normal thing to have anxiety about letting someone down that we care about, because that's what family is. But
Yeah.
um family will like understand that health is so important, and just like seeing how he can watch you and you can be a role model for self-care.
That's true.
And it doesn't mean that you're not there for your family. You just have to take care of yourself. So when thinking about like him being okay with you not going, and like telling him I want you to evaluate your anxiety level right now when you think about that.
Now that you bring up the self-care aspect of it,
Mhm.
which, you can be aware of something, but just not apply it to your situation, right?
Yeah,
So,
totally.
in everything, I always try to teach him a lesson in everything, so that's a lesson that I need to learn,
Mm-hmm.
and that I could pass on to him. So that that makes me feel a little better about the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like also it could switch roles, in the future if you have something important that your grandson, said he would come to, like a birthday party or anniversary party or something, or family reunion, something like that. And it was on a weekend where he was so tired from football and, school and everything. And he had already committed. So, he had to call you and tell you that he couldn't come anymore after he committed. I'm sure that he would look back on this situation and remember, like, oh, it's okay to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
In the
And
meantime.
I don't think I'm as hard on other people
Mm-hmm.
as I am on myself, because I would say that, oh, no worries, take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody tell me they can't make something, like, hey, I understand. It's, you do what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I'm harder on myself than
Yeah.
I am on other people,
Mhm.
right?
And that's such like human nature. I mean, we're all so much harder on ourselves than we are on other people. And like becoming aware of the anxiety provoking cognitions that like you're experiencing in those stressful situations can be super helpful. And one way that you can do that is just kind of like when you're not with the therapist, just sitting down by yourself and imagining the anxiety provoking situation and going through it in your head, and kind of just imagining what's going to happen. And that's a really good technique that you can use in that
Okay.
any like
Okay.
stressful situation.
Sure.
Um, and then after that, I'm going to help you examine your thoughts by reevaluating your self statements. So, what kind of self statements come up when you think about letting someone down? Like, what does that feeling bring up inside yourself about how you feel about yourself?
I think it's just certain people. It's certain people.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't make, but I don't make commitments lightly, right? So it's not, I don't feel this way for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but my children, my grandchildren, my one best friend, I want to be, uh, and, and it's what they expect me to be because I'm kind of like all doing for my family and my friends, right? For my circle,
Yeah.
I'm the one that they are used to bringing everything to, and I work it out. I
Mm-hmm.
give them a step, I give them that. But when it comes to talking about myself and how I feel,
Mm-hmm.
I guess it'll be statements like, I should have never committed. I should have never said I would go. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go when they brought it up. But she did so and so for me, so I feel like I have to reciprocate. So usually it's just I shouldn't have committed, because
Yeah.
I don't think it through, because if I'm just talking to someone, or they walk up to me, or they call me, hey, Dana, can you do this for me? Even my kids, Mom, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you come here? And I'll say, yeah. Just send me a reminder.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I don't remember and it's a conflict or just really something I shouldn't have committed to, then
Yeah.
those are my statements. I should have never committed.
Mm,
I should have asked more questions.
yeah.
I shouldn't feel like I have to do this all the time, right?
Mm,
My husband's he'll just say, nope, I don't want to go, not interested. Me, it's something clicking in my mind like, okay, I think she came to my granddaughter's birthday party, so I have to go to her granddaughter's birthday party, no
mhm.
matter how I feel, because I have to reciprocate. So I always feel like I have to reciprocate, or like I shouldn't have committed, or I should have asked more questions, or stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And how does your evaluating your level of anxiety now, after that, reevaluation of self statement, how is it feeling now?
I say all the time, once I say it out loud, it's like
Yeah,
I'm not obligated to
yeah,
do, I'm not obligated to do anything.
yeah, exactly.
But I want to be able to do everything that I did before the chronic illness, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Or if I do, I pay the price and I'm sick for 2 or 3 days, right?
Yeah,
So
totally.
I have to say it in my head, just like I'm saying it to you. When someone asks me something, I have to say, hold on, let me check my schedule. Let me see what's, my husband says it all the time. Just tell him you need to check your schedule. Tell him you need to see what's going on. But in the heat of things, I'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll go. And then it's,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes up, I'm either physically
Yeah.
really not able to, or so I know I have to do a better job,
Mm-hmm.
but in the thick of it, I don't always do a better job.
Yeah, that's so, yeah. And it's cool that, talking it out for you helps kind of bring the situation into perspective.
It
Um,
is.
and yeah, I'm so excited for you to, just kind of step back and think about the situation and everything. And it's all going to go so great. And now
Thank you.
you can be my therapist.